Hello, I'm Damon Bailey and thanks for checking out this video series that focuses on the speaking section of the IELTS test. In this first video, we're going to be looking at part 1 of the speaking test and what you need to do to maximize your chances of getting a great score. Part 1 of the IELTS speaking test is called the Introduction and Interview. At the beginning of the speaking test, the examiner will introduce himself or herself and ask you to confirm your identity. We recommend you do this using the same form of identification you used to book the test or when you checked in. Then the examiner will ask you some questions about your work or studies or the place where you live. So it's good to make sure you practice answering questions on these topics. After this, you will be asked questions on an additional 2 topics that the examiner chooses. These are often everyday topics that you are familiar with, such as your hobbies, your city, sports, television, music you enjoy, or the weather. And there are many more. So what's being tested during part 1 of the speaking test? Part 1 of the IELTS speaking test is mainly testing for 2 things: everyday vocabulary and basic grammar. So how should you answer part 1 questions? Firstly, it's very important to listen to the question carefully so that you do not have to ask the examiner to repeat the question and you can answer straight away. The way we advise you to answer part 1 questions is very simple. We recommend that you give a 2-part answer. Initially, you should give a direct answer and answer the question. But if you want to improve your score, you need to offer more details or information. Here is an example of this in practice. If the examiner asks you, "Where is your house located?" you need to provide an answer to the question, such as, "Currently I live in District 3 in Ho Chi Minh City." This is our direct answer, but this is just the first step. Now you need to give some more information to take a very basic answer and make it a great part 1 answer. For example, if the examiner asks you, "Where is your house located?" you can give your direct answer and answer the question, but now it is time to add more details. District 3 is close to the center of town, so it is easy to access many different amenities and important public places in the city. Our house is located in a small alley away from main roads, so fortunately we don't get disturbed by the noise from local traffic. Giving plenty of detail in your answers will increase your likelihood of getting a high score. Now let's look at how long your part 1 answers should be. When answering part 1 questions, you always want your answers to sound as natural as possible. Our recommendation on answer length is between 15 to 25 seconds. This means any answer that is about 20 seconds long is a good answer length for speaking part 1. Remember that you are aiming for a natural sounding answer, so some of your answers will be shorter, perhaps 10 seconds, and some of your answers will be longer, perhaps around 30 seconds, especially when you're giving more details or adding more information. If you were to write out an answer for part 1, the answer would be approximately 2 to 3 sentences long. It is not necessary to give longer answers than this because you will be tested on your ability to speak at length in part 2 of the speaking test. What you are aiming for is a good balance of answer lengths, some shorter and some longer, which will also make your answers sound much more natural. Okay, so let's go over what we've learned about answering part 1 questions in the speaking test. What constitutes or makes for a good answer in part 1 of the IELTS speaking test? using a variety of different everyday vocabulary and accurate basic grammar when answering each of the questions. How should you answer Part 1 questions? We recommend that you give a direct answer and answer the question, and then add more information or details. What's a good answer length for Part 1 questions? A good answer length for Part 1 of the speaking test is about 15 to 25 seconds. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and please like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. If you would like to know more about us, please check out our website at IELTSwiz.com. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be about speaking Part 2.